According to urban legend, if you say same old sorry ass Rams 3 times in a mirror at midnight, Greg Papa appears and says, Ayuk, Ayuk, Ayuk is on fire. You spin right off the podcast starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. Oh my goodness. It is a new Sprint Ride Option podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, joined by everybody's favorite 49ers YouTuber. It is Jason Aponte, wearing a Yankees hat, reminding people that he does support a franchise that cannot win. Unlike the Niners, we're going to finish 17-0. Jason Aponte, how are you doing today?
I don't know. How the Giants doing?
Not great. Not great either, but that's okay. I'm wearing a 49ers hat, sir. My favorite team is a winner right now, not the Giants.
Listen, I just was going with the aesthetic. Navy shirt, navy hat. Can't wear black and red, can't throw off the aesthetics. I want to kind of go back to your cold opening. Mm-hmm. And I really want people to understand that we don't rehearse it. He never tells me what he's going to say. So if you saw the reaction to him saying Greg Papa was going to jump out into the mirror, just remember, I'm not from Cali. I don't care about Greg Papa. I don't care much for him at all.
The reaction.
And he did it on purpose. He literally did it on purpose, man. I can't believe it.
Hey, I just wanted to it's Rams week, and something that we know happens during Ram week is the 49ers win in the regular season. I wanted to try and get you to laugh a little bit before.
That's not making me laugh.
No. Okay. Let me think of a better one. I'll think of something better.
I've got a better one for you.
Okay. Let's do it.
Sounds to me like there is a bit of a wink handshake agreement that at WrestleMania it will be The Rock versus our tribal chief.
We'll see because he actually just came out at SmackDown and he interrupted Austin Theory. So I don't know if maybe it's Austin Theory thing. Maybe I think they're gonna get somehow John Cena get involved because Cody Rhodes has got to finish that story.
Finish the story. I'm trying to find a way.
The story, man.
I am trying to find a way to use that so badly, whether it's in a reel or something on Twitter. If you don't notice, it's about 2:40 in and we're stalling. Make sure that you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. And, subscribe to the Sprint Ride Option podcast wherever you get your podcast. But right now we're trying to let people fill in. See my guy, Jim Everett. That's how you know it's Rams week.
It's Rams week. Jim Everett's here, excited. Where's Marketing Pro? Where's all our guys? Where's all our guys? I'm excited. I'm excited for Rams week.
Me too.
This is a fun one. I feel like a lot of people are energized for it. The Niner fans obviously energized because they're win against Pittsburgh. The Rams fans excited because of their dominating win over the Seahawks. I think Niner fans are a little more juiced right now though because they know they're better than the Rams. And that'll probably play out on the field come Sunday. I don't know if Jason has other feels about that, but this podcast knows a few things. It knows quarterback controversy. It knows Jason blocks people, and it knows that the Niners beat the Rams
not
in
people.
The regular season.
Not people.
Women.
I don't, yeah.
There
Look, I want to say something, and I know 49er fans don't want to hear this, but, man, I was really surprised when I popped on the tape and what I saw when I watched the Rams game against Seattle. No matter how you feel about the roster, and I don't think that there's anybody, even a Rams fan, that'll tell you that their roster is better than the 49ers roster. Watching Sean McVay dial up these plays and be able to have a quarterback execute them so well, there's still that factor in there, right? And I was super impressed because they opened the game running the ball a ton. And when
not much success.
Yeah, but then they opened it up in the second half and they started slinging that thing all over the field. And, obviously Puka Nacua was the big benefactor of that, but it still points to the fact that no matter the discrepancy in roster, a good coach is going to play to strengths.
Yep.
And I don't care what anybody says. I know we make a lot of jokes about the Rams and stuff. Sean McVay is still a very good coach, and he's still a very good play caller who understands how to put his players in advantageous situations. I walked away from that game very impressed with Sean McVay, and that entire week was a showcase for the play callers, which was the Athletics podcast, all 4 of the play callers went off. Basically, McVay, LaFleur, McDaniel, and Shanahan. All of them went off, and in different ways. And I think that's what makes all of this, watching on the tape interesting, because McDaniel does it because Tyreek Hill is unguardable. McVay was able to do it because Seattle, has a very poor defense for sure, but he still was able to scheme things wide open for guys. With LaFleur, I think we were kind of discounting the fact that maybe Jordan Love might be good.
Yeah.
And with the Niners, Brock Purdy's operating this offense at a level that we haven't seen. So it's just interesting to dive into the tape, because there's different ways. There's many ways to skin a cat. And I was very surprised with the way McVay was able to scheme guys wide open, man.
Yeah, and it really comes down to, just looking at the box score, how weird of a game this was for the Rams. 40 carries for 92 yards to 2.3 yard average, which is not good. But all 3 of their touchdowns came on the rushing attack. Matthew Stafford completed 24 of 38, 334 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And that's, to me, that's very telling of Sean McVay and how good he is, because he wasn't able to draw anything up to get in the end zone, but he got enough to where the offense was able to get in the end zone. And that's really what it comes down to. As simple as it sounds, Jason, the scoring touchdowns, very good thing, despite, not having Cooper Kupp. And I know Odell Beckham hasn't been on the team in a couple of years, but not having a guy like that. But the fact that he can drop an offense, Puka Nacua, 10 receptions, 119 yards, Tutu Atwell, 6 receptions, 119 yards. 6 receivers with Matthew Stafford under Sean McVay have gone for 100 yards. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Odell Beckham Jr., and I'm forgetting the 4th one off the top of my head. And
this one, too. That's all over the tape, too. Is Van Jefferson's wide open for a huge gain, and literally they left plays on the field.
Yep. Yeah, no, exactly that, too. And it's just you can see it in the 49ers offense with McVay and all that. It's kind of the opposite. Is Shanahan's never really had the quarterback. This year, you're going to see what McVay is going to do with not a lot of receivers, because Cooper Kupp day to day, technically out for the first 4 weeks. We'll see what McVay really has to offer. And that almost makes me more nervous about this game, because it's just no Cooper Kupp on this offense. The defense has lost a lot of talent. It's Aaron Donald, and that almost makes me more uncomfortable about this game.
I think what you're afraid of is overconfidence, because you look at these 2 teams, and conventional wisdom would lead you to believe, how do the Rams keep up in this game?
Yeah.
How? Especially when you look at their defense, it's literally Aaron Donald, Josh Johnson, and I can't even name, many of them, right? Like guys who are, I don't want to say they're bad football players at all, but it's just they're not name brand football players. And then on offense, Cooper Kupp's not going to be there. Cam Akers has been whatever, right? Like literally the names that you recognize, Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, those are the guys that have been there. It just feels like, how do the Rams keep up in this game? And Vegas kind of feels the same way. And by the way, I know I didn't talk to Andrew about this, but we're going to start adding a new segment at the end of the show about prop bets, because I'm feeling really good, because I smoked all of my bets last week on Niners Nation. I literally swept right through them. So we're gonna add that in there too. If you guys
what's really funny is that I was thinking, it's man, he never really plugs his underdog stuff. We should start. I was having that thought this week. So look, we didn't even talk about this, and yet we both had the thought. So yeah, I like that.
Underdog, we can do that as well too. But the article that I wrote last week about the 3 best bets going into Sunday against Pittsburgh, I actually wrote all four hit. So if you listened and you played those bets, and obviously in California you can't, because we don't need to get into why, but if you're somewhere where you can bet, yeah, you should be making money. So we're gonna add that too, because I have thoughts about where you could go when it comes to what you should do in this game, because I'm gonna start taking my own advice, because I didn't even take my own advice last week and I could have made some money. But look, again, if you look at the way Vegas is looking at this game, I think the Niners are 8-point favorites at I was about to say at home. I guess we should just make the joke at home in SoFi. So The thing that I think Andrew's trying to say is that he's not necessarily worried too much about like the game, but the overconfidence of it. And it sounds like something that just is too good to be true.
Well, this is really the first time in the Shanahan era, if you think about it. Thank you for the donation, Paul. Jason needs to get back to hosting a fantasy chat.
I'll get back to it. I got some good ideas. I got some good ideas for this week too. Because I mean, again, on State of the Franchise, I was like, man, I don't see how you can play Alexander Madison. Hopefully, you guys listen, man, because good God, he was awful on Thursday.
Hey, Jason helped me get my one fantasy team to 1-0 this week. So there we go. My team name is Arrest Aaron Donald. It's just I'm in the league with a bunch of Rams fans, and remember, Aaron Donald beat that person. I forget who it was at practice last year. So he should still be suspended. Roger Goodell, I'm calling for it. Maybe this Sunday, good time to suspend him, huh? Think about that. No, Jason, listen, 7-point favorite for the 49ers in Los Angeles. And can I actually give you some numbers I looked up really quick? Part of my Niner Nation. We both write for Niner Nation, Jason. I don't know if we mentioned it. I wrote my numbers to know article, and I mentioned the 64 to 34. Wow, my math was horrible. 64 to 36% ratio of 49er fans to Rams fans at SoFi Stadium. I decided to look this up just because we all know that the Niners are 8-0, whatever. They've won how many consecutive games against the Rams. The Niners actually, if they win on Sunday, they'll have more divisional wins at SoFi Stadium than the Rams have divisional wins at SoFi Stadium. And the Niners only play one divisional game every year at SoFi. The Rams play 3.
Drop that one more time. Say that one more time. That sounds like a stat that isn't real.
So SoFi Stadium, built in 2020. The 49ers are 3-0 in the regular season. Need to keep adding that little nugget because of a game we don't like to talk about. Niners 3-0 in the regular season against the Rams. The Rams at SoFi Stadium against the NFC West are 3-6. They were 2-1 in 2021. 2020, 1-2 in 2021, and 0-3 in 2022. So if the Niners win on Sunday, they'll have more wins against the NFC West than the Rams do at their own home stadium.
That is an incredible stat.
Yeah.
And everyone in the chat is like, honestly, Andrew, man, I feel like sometimes you don't ever get the credit. I always feel like you're the most underrated guy, like in this whole sphere. That's incredible.
Working on it. Yeah,
that's
no, it's only
Did it already drop in the article?
Yeah, it's in the article.
Tweet that.
I think I tweeted it out. I need to tweet it out if I haven't already.
Tweet that right now, like while I talk. When I let me ramble and you tweet that. Please.
But yeah, no, Niners have a lot of wins at SoFi.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And it works because SoFi is so new. Obviously, like it's if it was over 10 years, that number is going to change. Los Angeles is going to play more games at home against the NFC West. But for the first 3 years, the Niners have as many wins at home against the NFC West. So there you go. But to the point that we were talking about before, we got that number out of the way. This is really the first time in the Shanahan-McVay era it feels like the Niners are significantly better than the Rams.
Significantly.
Because you got to remember that the Rams were very good when Shanahan was just building. 2020, or obviously 2019, the Niners were a little better. They go to the Super Bowl further in the playoffs. But this is the first time that it feels like this Niner team is significantly better than the Los Angeles Rams. And so there you go. Yeah, that's my feel.
Even during the years that the Niners were better, it was marginally better. Again, we like to take a lot of, make a lot of jokes and everything. And this week is like primarily been about shit talking as it is because this rivalry runs deep. Mm-hmm. But for me, it really felt like this is the time where I'm looking at this game now and I'm just asking questions like, I don't know how the Rams are supposed to keep up. Mm-hmm. Aside from, the 49ers shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, it could be something to the effect of what we saw with the Vikings. Like the Vikings literally kept the Eagles in the game with 4 fumbles. Things like that can happen, right? Like it's possible.
Absolutely.
Right? That absolutely can happen. But outside of something like that, this is the first time I've looked at a matchup with the Rams and the Niners, and I said, I don't know how the Rams are supposed to keep up in this game.
Yeah.
And what is supposed to happen? Like what's the outcome? How does this happen? What's the circumstances when this happens? I don't get that part. That's the first time that's happened. Mm-hmm. Whether we believe the 49ers were better years before or not, you always felt like it was closer than it is right now. And it's just, whether it's injuries, whether it's, losing players to free agency, whatever it is, right now, just based on the two rosters and the way that the 49ers, well, the Rams play very well too as well. I just don't understand how they're going to keep up. And that's kind of like, I think where Andrew's hesitance is. It's like, should we be out here just saying the Niners are going to win by 20-something points?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or do we look at this objectively and say football's football and try to break this down unbiased? And I think that's the weird.
Or as Jason Aponte would say, you never know with divisional games.
Well,
and that's the other scary thing, too.
When I say that about divisional games, that's CYA. That's covering my own ass, like, honestly, just in case. Because if you predict a blowout and it doesn't happen, then you get killed. But if you say a divisional game is weird and then it's a blowout, you'll just be like, yeah, it was just weird. Like, that's just CYA, right? More than anything.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what 90% of this podcast is just me and Jason covering our own ass. Hey, a lot of I thinks. Not like I guarantees. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to finish.
I believe
yards.
I believe this is what could happen.
No. So it's a little bit of that, and maybe the one concern I have, and kind of what Stafford tried to do against the Seahawks, was he used the middle of the field a lot, and he actually targeted Kobe Bryant quite a bit, 10 targets in the slot. And that's a little bit of a concern for the 49ers right now, because there's a lot of – you remember that thing I talked about, only keeping 5 cornerbacks, and how if like one got hurt, where do you go from there? It's happened. Samuel Womack placed on the IR with an MCL injury after practice on Wednesday, out 6 to 8 weeks. So right now, the 49ers only have 4 cornerbacks on the roster, one being a slot corner. My prediction, I'm guessing Quantrez Knight is the signing from the practice squad, right? To step in for Womack. That's my guess, because then you have 3 outside guys and 2 slot corners. So my concern is it's not necessarily the middle of the field for Stafford, because I think he had it was a high percentage of his passes went to the middle of the field against Seattle attacking that linebacking core. I don't think you're going to have that much success against Fred Warner, who is really good. Fred Warner's pretty good at covering the middle of the field. So is Bobby Wagner. Maybe not in 2023. We'll see. Still early in the season. But how he attacks that slot corner of the 49ers, whether it be Isaiah Oliver, who I'm assuming who it is, Jim Everett predicting a 35-22. Hey, man, he's feeling good. He's feeling excited. He's ready.
I'm just happy he's here.
I'm happy he's here too, man. I love all of our fans.
I do.
BNA, thank you very much. It's a big ask for the Rams. Rookies to play this well, back-to-back road games. Only Colorado State will get dragged worse this weekend. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Colorado fan, just because I don't know. I've never
Colorado
cared for
State.
Colorado football.
He's not talking about Colorado ain't getting dragged. Colorado.
But I don't know why as Colorado State you would poke that bear.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Colorado. I'm a Stanford. I've been Pac-12. I'm not a big Colorado fan.
Dion's feeling it. He bought his whole team sunglasses.
That score is going to be very one-sided.
Yeah, and Dion, I love the pettiness of Dion, man. Trust me, if I had to be a coach, I would be super petty like that as well too. I did want to kind of talk about Puka Nacua a little bit.
Yes, go ahead.
So yesterday he popped up on the injury report with an oblique injury. That's never good on a Thursday. Today it sounded like he practiced in a limited fashion. Sean McVay pretty much said, I think he's going to play. But big friend of the pod, Matt Harmon and Reception Perception, he's doing something now that's, I love his work. I think he's great. He loves wide receivers just as much as I do. Reception Perception is doing something now, which is in-season charting. So he doesn't have the route tree and everything as well, too. But I did kind of want to point out the fact that Nacua wasn't exactly a Cooper Kupp replacement. He felt more like a Robert Woods. And what I mean by that is when that offense was humming with Robert Woods. And what I mean by that is the way that they lined him up. So he took 25.4 of his snaps from the slot, was in the backfield as a pre-snap motion option, 9.5%. He was on the line for 57.1% of his snaps and off the line for 42.9%. Now, the coverage type that he was seeing, and this is, again, Seattle, 35.1% of his routes were man. He had an 84.6 success rate. Zone was 64.9% of his routes, 70.8% success rate, and he got pressed 21% of the time, but he had an 87.5% success rate. Now, it's a one-game sample size. That's not something that's going to go ahead and keep going. But Puka Nacua just kind of feels like really Like he's somebody who can be a weapon because Sean McVay knows how to utilize that, and the fact that Matthew Stafford can get him the ball. Now, look, is he 100%? I don't know. I mean, getting an oblique injury on Thursday, that doesn't feel right. Like, at this point, sounds like he's going to play. But I thought it was interesting because a lot of people think he's like a one-for-one exchange of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp plays much more X than I think a lot of people give him credit for. Puka feels like he can do a lot more, and Sean McVay is going to find ways to put him in advantageous situations. And yes, Yankees, whoever you like, doesn't matter. They're probably not as good as the Yankees or not that good. So, I see the Giants talking about should we make the playoffs or fire everybody? Imagine like being in that predicament. Make the playoffs. Always make the playoffs. Stop arguing with each other. Ridiculous idea. Don't make the playoffs so we can fire everyone.
Especially in baseball too. That's very much like you get into the playoffs and you never know. Like the Phillies, were the Phillies supposed to make the World Series last year? No.
Yeah.
Were the who was the year before 2021? God, the Braves. Were the Braves supposed to make the World Series? No. Like, come on.
Oh, there he is.
No. Oh, what's up, Russia? Shout out Russia. Love Russia.
Man. You probably are, but make sure you're sub to his channel as well too, man. He does incredible work, and he said he can't wait to kick the Rams' ass. So the Giants are in the wild card right now because the Yankees don't play in the National League.
Yes, exactly. And that's what the Giants exactly wanted in June when they were winning every game, was to be talking about the last wild card spot. Yep. No, so we're talking football now, right? Football.
Yes.
You mentioned Nacua and the Cup comparison. It's kind of funny to see how big of a game he had, but then Tutu Atwell also having that 119-yard game, because that was kind of the key to the previous games, especially when the Rams had Odell Beckham, is because a lot of these wins were, Cooper Kupp got 160 yards, but like Tyler Higbee had 45. He was the next closest receiver to Cooper Kupp. But the one game that the Rams win in the NFC Championship game, it was Kupp and Odell who went off for 100-plus yards, and the Niners couldn't contain both. So, like, it's almost on a smaller sample size. I'm not pretending like Puka Nacua is like Cooper Kupp yet, but it's a smaller sample size of like, hey, man, let Puka Nacua get whatever he wants, but, like, you can't let Tutu Atwell or Van Jefferson or Tyler Higbee also having a 100-yard game, because that's where you're going to get in trouble.
Beast Mode Gaming, we own the Rams. We will dominate. We healthy 30-7. I think that's a lot of the sentiment, like, from 49er fans at this point. And again, what Andrew was talking about earlier wasn't talking about like, oh, I'm scared to say things like that. It's just the overconfidence, because Andrew kind of feels like I do, I think. I mean, and if I'm wrong, Andrew, please,
I
cut me
definitely
off.
will.
Things are going a little too well right now in 49er land.
Yeah.
But in an off season in which we are literally killing each other, literally ripping each other in half. It was literally the scene from Anchorman where everyone was just like all fighting. And the 49ers go out there and they beat the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road with no injuries to report that are major at all. And then we go into this game and it's like, damn, this Rams team is inferior. Shit's just going too well right now, Andrew. I don't know when's the dagger coming? When does the rug get pulled out from under us at this point? Shit shouldn't be going this well, man.
No.
It's scary. It's a little too quiet right now.
So do you want to know what my biggest concern is? Like Andrew personal concern, and like this is a very much like knock on wood Andrew moment. I can't watch the game live. I have a bunch of birthdays this weekend. My grandma's 90th birthday tomorrow. Shout out,
happy
Grandma
birthday.
Norma. 90 years old. That's all she wanted to get to 90. And then the reason I'm missing the game Sunday is Jamie's mom. It's her birthday party. And so I can't watch the game live. I'm going to watch it when we get back home. I'm going to be in Oakland that day. Last year, week 2, I couldn't watch the game live against the Seahawks because I had a wedding to go to. And do we remember what happened week 2 last year?
Yeah,
against Seattle. And then you add in the second-year quarterback making his second start as the established starter
Andrew.
And that's where that's why I said I'm not saying it.
Andrew.
That's why I knocked on wood at the top.
Andrew.
Knocked on wood at the top.
You know what? I want those last few statements erased from the record.
Erased.
I want those stricken from the record.
But it's that same thing. Like the only reason that thought came into my brain, it's like, man, things are going too good. Like we're not yelling about the quarterbacks right now, or we're not talking like, yeah, kind of a bummer that Colton McKivitz really struggled against TJ Watt, but like the Niners won by what was it, 20 points, 25 points, whatever it ended up being. So it's just, yeah, dude. Trust me. Hey, listen.
I love the
comments. I love you guys so much. It's just in my brain, if I have to live with the thought by myself, I want to throw it out there. So definitely.
If things don't go well,
don't go well, I will take the blame. I will hand up. I'll left hand up there. I say
no, we're not. We're not doing that.
That's where Jason draws the line. Not the comparison to last year that Andrew missed week 2.
How many times is Andrew gonna troll me with that? How many times, man? And Beast Mode Gaming again. Thank you for the donation, buddy. Cloud9 much. LOL. Same here, but I am enjoying it. I'm trying to as well, but I just love the people that are just like, why are you saying this? Because I forgot about that like completely, because you literally just brought up, and then you're like, I'm like, week 2 in Seattle. Did anything of note happen in that game? Oh, right.
Something of note happened. Yeah. No, like to bring it back to Jason's point, things are vibing right now. Things are going really good on 49ers Twitter. And let's keep it like that. Like the more they roll, the better. And that's what I'm hoping. The fact that I can even joke about who was it? Was it Stats? Stats mentioned on his podcast today about 17-0, and it's like, yeah, man, I want those vibes because.
Oh well, all right, but he said regular season streak. Regular season.
I took a lot of context away. I just heard 49ers 17.
No, he said regular season streak, but the Niners have to go like 15-0 to like break.
But okay, yes, you're right. Yes, the regular season streak. That's what he was talking about. Yes, you're absolutely right. But the 15-0, like if you go 15-0, you might as well go 17-0. Am I right?
Hey man, go to more Astros games so they can lose. Like do that. I would send you money saying go to more Astros games and just make sure they lose, Roshan. Like honestly.
No, I love it. I'm excited, but no, just the idea of Stats like talking about like going 15-0, like it just feels like it could be in the realm of possibilities. Man, that's where I want 49ers Twitter to be. Not yelling about the quarterback, but talking about being 15-0 in December. You know how amazing this podcast would be with a 15-0 49ers team.
Hold on, Roshan went to the Seattle and Miami game. Good God, but Roshan, if you want to put a positive spin on it. It gave birth to Zachary's donation. We might as well just take it. Brock Purdy Super Bowl MVP train, get on board. I mean, yeah, that's it.
That's the thing. I've had people ask me like, when do you think JKBG? I love you. Hey Andrew, could you hang out around my ex-wife for like a week or so? Want to see something? Let's just get through Sunday first before we talk about Jesus. It's only a one-time.
He's gonna be alive come Sunday.
I think Jason's broken. I think you broke Jason.
This podcast off the rails right now.
We've gone sideways. This is what happens with the divisional games too, Jason. Is I feel like we talk. These are the only teams we talk about twice every year. Like, how many more interesting insights can we have on the Niners Rams?
I'm trying to be insightful as opposed to all that.
But man, it's just. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about where the Niners are. That's all I'm saying. But the question of Purdy of like, when do we decide like, hey, it's not a small sample size anymore, and when do we decide he's the real deal? And like, I kind of just want to like say now, but I don't want to have that homer take because like we mentioned it earlier this week that like Brock Purdy just has this feel and this look. And it's something that I haven't felt or seen with the Niners quarterback in a long time. And there's something to it. Now, whether it's a mirage or not, I don't know. It's 8 games. It's very small sample size. But, like, I don't know. Maybe we are comfortable at this point.
Yeah, you know what? Look, it's 30 minutes in. We've been as objective as we can be. Unbiased. Yeah. Let's talk shit. I don't see how the Rams are going to keep up in this game. I really don't. Aside from the 49ers absolutely barfing on themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. And Steph put this stat out there, and I didn't even think of this. It's not even necessarily a stat. It's just a fact. The Rams have never faced Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, or Brock Purdy all together.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if we want to be unbiased and we want to be concerns. Okay, concern. Here it is. Spencer Burford against Aaron Donald. Yes. Concern. Big concern. Because I'll tell you what, Daniel Brunskill's not walking through that door. And Aaron Donald is a game wrecker. He can be. But I don't expect the 49ers to walk into this game not knowing that.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like the 49ers are going to get out there and they're going to be like, oh, wait, that 99 guy is really good. How did we not account for him? Who's he? He may not know who Deebo Samuel is, but the 49ers know who Aaron Donald is. So they'll find a way to neutralize that. I've got the 49ers winning this game like 35-17. And I don't even know how they get to 17. I'm just trying to be generous.
Yeah.
Seriously. That has to be a time where the game's out of hand and again, everybody wants, Kyle Shanahan to substitute all the players like when they're up. But, there's only 53 and I can't do math. There's only 53 men on the roster. You can't substitute everyone, right? Some guys got to be out there and play.
Yeah.
But I'm done. Look, it's Friday, 8:45. We're feeling good. I don't see how the Rams keep up in this game. I really don't. I don't get it. Like, I don't get how they do it. And all the praise that I gave to Sean McVay is all true earlier about understanding how to scheme guys open, understanding defenses. I had a pleasure breaking down that Rams Seattle tape. Had a pleasure. It was great. But come on, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, like, at this point? And I hear Avery in the other room. Andrew, you got it for a little bit. I will be right back.
All right. Well, yeah, and to Jason's point, to me, the thing that concerns me the most, at least from the side of the LA Rams, is 40 rushing attempts for 92 yards. I don't know if that's going to happen against the 49ers. I don't think the 49ers are fine against the run. I just have a hard time believing that you can come into, I almost called it Levi's Stadium. It's not Levi's Stadium. It's Levi's Stadium South. You can't go into a game against the 49ers and just one-dimensional your way through it. The Niners have too much talent on the defensive side of the ball. And it's kind of crazy, too, that Nick Bosa just really dominates the Los Angeles Rams. And that's the thing that Seattle was really, really missing was pass pressure. Matthew Stafford wasn't sacked once against Seattle. Seattle's defense was only credited for 11 pressures. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. There's Marketing Pro. There's Marketing Pro.
Boy, it ain't Rams week until you pull up.
Miss you, Marketing Pro.
And no disrespect to Jim Everett, who we love, but Jim Everett's always here, man. Marketing Pro, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
What a good win in week 1.
Yes.
Way to whip on the Seattle Seahawks. I enjoyed breaking down that offensive tape.
Yeah.
Because Sean McVay's really good at what he does. Good to see you. But we're going to beat the shit out the Rams this week. I was like, just to let you know.
We love you, Marketing Pro, though.
Thank you
for stopping by.
Shout out to you,
Thank you for stopping by. No, but Jason, I was just talking about how, probably why the Rams were decently successful against the Seahawks was their lack of pass rush. 11 pressures for the Seahawks. Didn't sack Stafford once. The Niners in the 9 games since drafting Nick Bosa have only shout out to Batman. Sammy says
Sami Zayn.
Oh, Sami Zayn. Oh, hey man, that's me. Okay, I got it. In the 9 games that the Niners have had since they drafted Nick Bosa, they finished with 11 or fewer pressures against the Rams 4 times. But 2 of those times, Nick Bosa wasn't playing in 2020. So in the 7 games that the Niners have had Nick Bosa, they've gotten to the quarterback, including last year. Week 4 last year, 30 or 35 pressures, 14 alone by Nick Bosa. I think a lot of why the Rams had success against Seattle, even with the lack of run game, is Seattle wasn't pressuring the quarterback. The Niners have too much talent on defense to allow the Rams to get away with 2.3 yards per carry while throwing the ball for 300 yards. That pass rush is too good to let that happen, and there's too much star power in this defense to even let anything close to that happen. That's why I think 17 might be a touch high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to I guess 17 is me accounting for weird stuff.
That's fair.
Like a kickoff return.
That's fair.
Possibly like a fumble recovery for like a touchdown. Like, the Locked On Rams folks predicted Rams win 27-24. Hey, look, play to your crowd. Play to your crowd.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to say,
Well,
hey, the Rams have no shot in this one. I don't want you to listen to this podcast. Like they've got to play to their crowd. I understand.
What was our joke last year? We were 13-4 picking 49er games last year.
Yeah.
Or what was
I'm
the Niners?
1-0.
Was it,
We're
was it
1-0.
Yeah, we're 1-0.
We're 1-0 picking the 49ers every week.
My guess is we'll be 2-0 after this weekend. I'm trying to find the Niners record from. Yeah, we were 13-4. That's what the Niners finished last year, right?
And we're 13-5. If you count.
Yeah, we were 13-5. Regular season. This is the regular season.
But look, no, seriously. The outcome of this game, right? We talk about this all the time in the NFL. Rosters are one thing, coaching is one thing, right? Like you still have to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just have such a hard time. I have a hard time right now figuring out how the Rams make it in this game. I really have a hard time outside of things that are crazy. And I think they're asking Andrew for the stat one more time because Marketing Pro's here.
Oh yeah,
they're asking for it one more time. It's such a good stat that it deserves to be read. It is.
3 times. I didn't think it was real. I've triple checked it, but yeah, in the 3 years since SoFi Stadium's been built, the 40 rest, we'll call it the Rams because that's the only team they play in the NFC West at SoFi Stadium. The Rams, however, have 3 wins at SoFi Stadium themselves against the NFC West, which is the Niners, Cardinals, and Seahawks. So in 3 times the games, the Niners are 3 fewer times the games the Niners have as many wins against divisional opponents at SoFi Stadium.
It's almost a stat that doesn't make sense. It's almost a stat that you can't believe is true. Yeah. Because you get to play, what is it, 3 divisional games per year, and you've only won 3.
Mm-hmm.
That means Kyler Murray's gone in there. Russell Wilson, whoever is Geno Smith, they've gone in there and
they didn't win a game at home against the division last year.
It boggles the mind.
Yeah,
it literally boggles the mind.
And if the Niners win this on Sunday and Seattle beats the Rams in Los Angeles and the Cardinals somehow, I don't think the Cardinals win any game this year, to be honest.
No.
But if the Cardinals somehow beat them, we could be talking about this next year. The Niners have more divisional wins at SoFi in 4 games than the Rams have in 12.
Well, 12 Cali 18 says, not really fair because the 49ers don't have to play the 49ers at SoFi.
Well, yeah, that's
very true. Very true. 100%.
That's a great point. 100%. I didn't think about that.
That is an incredible counterpoint.
Who would win in a game?
Who would win if the 49ers played the 49ers?
Or the 49ers at SoFi? Who would win that game?
I would probably say the 49ers win.
Yeah. I would say the 49ers probably.
Yeah. They eke out a 3-point win against the 49ers.
I can't think of a better way to pivot the Hoops revenge game.
I love it.
I think we got one.
It's the biggest one.
Am I wrong for only having one?
I mean, I'll think, but I know one off the top of my head. I've been waiting. Go for it.
And hopefully Brian Allen doesn't have a bad game because then he'll step in later in the game. It's Ahkello Witherspoon.
Is he gonna play?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That DK Metcalf hit has really injured him. But yes, it's obviously Ahkello Witherspoon.
It is.
Andrew, hey, what's Andrew's channel is what Boomer Rat is asking.
Oh yeah, man. It's just my name. I know I told you guys that I was gonna start using that more, and then I didn't. I'm planning to move here at some point in the future. And when we move, that's when things will get rolling.
Nathan,
Jesus.
Nathan, let's save this. Let's save this one. Maybe I think Avery's asleep.
Okay.
Andrew, After Dark. I want to kick After Dark with this one off.
I can give you 15 to 30 minutes of After Dark.
Love it. Absolutely.
Because your boy has to go to Santa Rosa.
Hold on to that thought. I started. Once we get done with this, we will get into After Dark, and I want to start with this because there was a stupid fucking take on 49ers Twitter
no.
about Joe Montana not being able to be good in today's game. And I think it kind of underlies that as well too.
Okay.
But and Nathan, what I'm gonna ask you is, I want you to specify which team from the 80s. Not and if it's a compilation of the 80s teams, then that's different. I need to know all of those things. But Nathan, get all that ready for us, and I promise you we'll kick off After Dark with that. But yeah, that's great. Look, Andrew, bottom line is this. If the San Francisco 49ers are the team that we believe that they are, if the San Francisco 49ers are the team that the national media has now chose to absolutely ride, Richard Sherman, everybody at the top of everybody's power rankings, then they should smash the Los Angeles Rams this weekend. No questions asked. Does it mean that if they win this game barely, that's an indictment? No, but we would need to watch the game to understand that contextualize. Because what I mean by that is, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't look great this past Thursday. They didn't look great. They look a little out of sorts. And how much of that is Shane Steichen? How much of that is early season stuff? I don't know yet, right? A week 2 game is not indicative of where a team is going or where they will be, right? But I do want to make sure that we don't let the 49ers off the hook here, because if the 49ers are the team that we think they are, and they're scoring 30 points a game, and Brock Purdy is throwing 2 touchdowns per game, they should win this game handily and going away.
Yeah, no, and I'm actually looking up the schedule because you mention it. If the 49ers are who we think they are based off of what we saw in week 1, really the only teams at this point that concern me are the Cowboys, the Bengals. We'll see where Jacksonville is when they play each other in November. And the Eagles, right? Outside of that, if the Niners play maybe the Ravens on Christmas Day.
The Ravens, it depends. I don't know what the Ravens are right now.
But if the Niners play like they can every week, only 5 teams on their schedule scare me. The Rams, very much not one of those teams at this point. And it's not no Jimmy G, Rams Nation. Hey man, that's another good point.
Hold on. Just let's put it out there about Jimmy G. The Sprint Right Option podcast predicted that the Raiders were going to beat whoever was their week 1 opponent, and it just happened to be Russell Wilson. And you know why that was? Because Jimmy G has fucking moxie. He makes his defense play better. He makes enough plays. He is a winner. Jimmy G. Shout out to you, buddy.
Shout out Jimmy G.
Shout out to Jimmy G, man. That was incredible to watch, because I think Raiders fans got their first glimpse of the Jimmy G experience, Andrew.
Yeah.
And I was not surprised at all. Injured, comes back in the game, throws a horrible interception, finds a way to win the game at the end, and then you look around and then what is everybody saying after the game? That's our guy. We love him. Dude, he's a gamer. I was like, holy shit. Where have I seen this movie before?
My softball team that I'm on, with a shout out Alex, KCRA, all that. We're doing softball this year. But we got a couple. Jimmy G was a Rams color. Glad he's gone.
That week 17 game, man. That's my favorite Jimmy G
in the back of their head.
That is my favorite. Yeah. That's my favorite Jimmy G game. Being down and winning with the bum shoulder and on the thumb
to get into the playoffs, nonetheless.
Yes,
but I got a couple of Raider fans on my softball team, and camp preseason, they're both just Jimmy G, it's whatever. I like Derek Carr, blah blah blah. And I told them both, it's like, man, listen, here's the thing about Jimmy G is you're gonna win a lot with him, but he's never gonna be the reason you win. And it's kind of this perplexing thing.
It's this weird thing where you win games when he starts,
but he's never the reason.
But he's not the main reason.
Yeah. And so I see them on Tuesday for softball because we play every Tuesday, and they just both go, yeah, you're right. I love him. And I'm like, yeah.
Everyone does.
All of gimmick, them. Dude.
Look, grab a beer with Jimmy G. Hell yeah. Rally around Jimmy G. Hell yeah. All of that. Everything is true. But half of football is that. Being able to get people to rally for you and fight for you. Yeah. That's what Jimmy has.
Yeah.
It's not that he's handsome. He's just a guy. He's a dude.
I think you know what should be a new Sprint Ride Option podcast rule for the preview episodes is when we get to Jimmy Garoppolo conversation, predictions. Because we've reached the Jimmy Garoppolo portion of the podcast, so we need to move on to the predictions portion.
Jimmy G was the Ringo Starr. Andrew, do you get this reference? Jimmy G is
that's
the
a Beatles.
That's
the Beatles.
I know
reference.
It's the Beatles, right? Like, but like,
I know one of the members. Paul McCartney was another Beatle.
Listen, bottom line, look,
not John David.
Jones. I love who we are right now with Brock Purdy. I love the offense that we are, but I do also kind of miss like seeing that guy walk up to the podium and like talk after the game, after they win, you know, and then we get on a podcast and we're just like, damn, 2 of those throws were really bad, but damn, 2 of those throws were really fucking good, man. And we're just like, and they found a way to win. Like it's just, it is perplexing. Jimmy G is like the enigma that I cannot figure out. And why, no matter where he goes, they find a way to win games. I don't know what it is, man. Josh Jacobs came back because he was like, I'm not passing up a season to not play with Jimmy Garoppolo. Dude, like, what are you? Are
he
you
is
insane?
The best hand offer of the ball in football. You know, that's what.
Miss you, buddy. Miss you, buddy. Miss you, man. Miss you, man.
Yeah, Niners by a lot. That's my prediction. I don't think this game is going to be particularly close. And as I said, it's not an indictment on the Rams and who I think they are. And Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, they're great. It's just this is the furthest these two franchises have been in terms of Niners being better than the Rams. And even when the Rams were slightly better than the Niners in 2021, the Niners go 2-0 against them in the regular season. The Niners win this game. If I have to throw out a number, 31. Give me a Jake Moody field goal up in there to 10.
35-17. I don't want to put. I'm going to give you 17 just because football stuff. Susan Wallman, who's a big commentator for the Yankees, says her and what's his name, the guy. It is high. It is far. John Sterling. That's baseball, Susan. That's baseball, Susan. That's football, Andrew. So 17 points, that's where I'm at. The 49ers will walk away with this game, and I think we're not going to have too much to worry about in this game. And also, the only thing that's going to worry me is just like, damn, 2 weeks of like, okay, everything's fine. Like, what are we walking into for Thursday Night Football? Like, with the Giants on a short week.
Oh, next week's gonna be crazy. Should we lay that out real quick, and then we'll go to After Dark?
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday to be determined because I have next Friday off because EAFC 24 is coming out, and I took the day off to play it all day, but. Podcasts first, so I can podcast anytime next Friday.
Friday,
yes,
I will be in Cali after going to the home opener. So, whatever time you want, buddy.
Whatever time you want. Same coast.
Same coast.
4:30 a.m. You said whatever time.
4:30 a.m. Eastern means that's 1:30 a.m. Pacific time.
No, I'm talking 4:30. I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow.
Oh, if you're talking 4:30 West Coast time, 7:30, that means Averly's been on my neck for an hour. Like, what are you talking?
You're more.
What you mean? I'm a dad.
If you're gonna be awake that early tomorrow, me and Jordan, we're gonna be live tweeting the Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Liverpool. Peacock,
I can tell you.
Get on the cockpit.
I can tell you of all the things that I will be doing on Saturday morning. That will be the thing I will not be doing.
I'll be awake. If you need to text me at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow.
All right.
I'll be awake. All right, Jason, let's get out of here. Let's do After Dark.
You want to do After Dark? Yeah, we got to get right to that question.
Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go fucking Niners.
Oh, the Grandy man can.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. Did you like my Curtis Granderson reference there? Jason, you're muted. Maybe I can't hear him. Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. Hi.
All right.
So it's After Dark real quick, just for the people who are new. we gotta keep mentioning it. We just kind of hang out. We talk about whatever, like hypothetical questions. Like Nathan here, the current 49ers versus the 80s, because we don't really know where it fits in during the show. So we answer it after the show. Jason, I'm gonna step away while you answer that.
Well, I was gonna fucking step away because I think I hear Avery, but it's fine. No, it's fine. It's cool.
I was just gonna get a piece of gum. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, you got it. I want to make sure I got this put up. So the current 49ers against the 1980s Niners. I want to hear what year. I want to know what year, Nathan. That's important. I want to know what year. I also want to start this conversation by saying everything is offensively geared now. It's to the receivers. You can't touch receivers. You can't touch quarterbacks. Joe Montana would throw for 9,000 yards in this era, right? The guy used to get destroyed, helmet to the head, helmet to the chest, get up and keep playing, right? That's the part that I think people lose because people get caught up in, well, the athletes of now, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at Justin Jefferson, you look at Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is faster than anybody who's ever played the game of football. Mm-hmm. Okay? Ever. Oh. I get that. But you're discounting all of the other things. Like Joe Montana did that during that era. Does he not get credit for the fact that you can't touch receivers? The fact that he could get destroyed on every single play? The fact that things were a little bit different with different athletes? You don't think that if Joe Montana was gifted Tyreek Hill on a slant, he couldn't put that thing right exactly where it needs to be and Tyreek would take that shit all the way to the crib? Like, we need to have a discussion about eras. And I think this is the best place to start because there was a nonsensical fucking take about Joe Montana not being able to survive in this league. I would argue Joe Montana would throw for 4,000 yards for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
I would argue Joe Montana would look better than the guys who are super athletic in this league. I would argue Joe Montana would be a top 3 guy in this league because of how he played and because of the era that he played in. So it's dumb to put eras together. This is what I hate about the baseball argument. It's what I hate about the basketball argument. I hate about that shit. Oh, Michael Jordan played when you fouled people and all that shit. I watched some of that Michael Jordan tape. He was playing against plumbers. Okay? Put Kobe Bryant in the 80s. You telling me LeBron James can't cook in the 80s? Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, that's the thing. It's for me, more than anything. Eras are going to precede all this, and you need to have a discussion about that before we get to this part.
Yeah, I mean, because on the flip side too, like in my mind, it's who I mean, I have a hard time.
I love you, buddy. I love you, buddy. Tyreek is faster than both of them.
Yeah,
he's faster
Tyreek
than both of them.
Neither of them are slow.
No, they're not. They were the fastest of their time.
Tyreek Hill's insane.
Tyreek runs right past them in a straight line. Yeah. In a straight line. But shout out to my guy Paul too. Joe was crazy athletic at the start of his career.
We love you, Paul.
Yeah. No, look, and Dion was 4-1 Vader Joe. I would love if I could find a way to make a multiverse happen where Deion Sanders had to cover Tyreek Hill, I would give all the little money in my bank account to make that shit happen. Yeah. And it's just something we have to ponder on and throw hypotheticals at this point.
That's why it's such a big conversation because nobody's ever wrong. Like that's the thing because right. I think with what the speed and size combo of just like Deebo Samuel. Like I think that would throw guys out.
Well, and then this too. Well, Gavin, thank you for the donation, buddy. Who makes the thumbnails? That's Kyle Breikwitz, 49ers Kyle on Twitter as well too. Shout out Kyle, man, the guy who brought us together as well too. But I love this one too. I love this one from Anthony. Imagine a lot smacking Tyreek at least once. Again, in that era, he would have been allowed to get away with that.
Yep, but
if
now
not played football today, he would be a criminal. He'd be outlawed. He would be absolutely thrown out of the league. Again, errors. It's that's the thing. It's the errors are different. And if Tyreek Hill ever got hit like that from Ronnie Lott, let's just say even like Steve Atwater.
Yes.
Steve Atwater.
That's going off.
Yeah, whoever. I'm sure he probably wouldn't get up or be functional. But again, errors. And here we go.
Jordan Elliott Sports. What up, Ramley? Wow. LA. Is that Rams Jordan? Is it we're used to him.
This is Rams Jordan at this point.
Jordan.
Like, all right. No, look, Nathan has given us context. Okay. The current 49ers against the 89 Niners and the current Niners against the nobody beats the 94 Niners.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Sorry. I will. If that's the only reason that I feel like that is probably because that's the one championship that I've been able to remember from start to finish. And yes, I am, that old. And that makes me biased. I don't think anybody ever beats that 94 Niners team. Ever.
No.
Ever. The only team that could have beat them was the team they beat in the NFC Championship game. Nobody else could beat that team. But shit, the Niners now against the 89 Niners. Good God. Andrew, I want you to start because how old were you in 89?
Negative 3.
-3. Okay.
-3. Yes, -3. So a lot of these are just the names to me. So I obviously watched them growing up. To me, it's hard to beat Montana, Rice, Roger Craig. Like as cool as Purdy, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey, all of them is. Like I grew up with these teams. Now, where I think this gets interesting is how does the pass rush do against the 84 or 89 Niners, right? Is the speed and athleticism that much different now than versus when they were around and how
Dude, we're trying to have a rational conversation here, man. Just look real quick for context while we're getting back on track here. The 89 team was 14-2 in a 16-game season. They beat the Vikings 41-13 in the divisional. They beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game 30-3, and they beat the Broncos 55-10. They had 6 Pro Bowlers and 8 All-Pros. Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Mike Walter, Don Griffin, Ronnie Lott, and kicker Mike Kofor.
Not a real
this is when kickers mattered. Like at this point, essentially, quarterback Joe Montana had one of the greatest statistical passing seasons in the NFL history in 89. Passer rating of 112.4. Listen to this. This is fucking obscene. Completion percentage of 70.2%. 26-8 touchdown to interception ratio. In the playoffs, Montana was 78.3% completion percentage, 800 yards, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 146.4 rating. Cole Hart Football Facts calls Montana's 1989 season the one by which we should measure all quarterback seasons. And obviously, Tom Brady goes on to destroy those records. But good God, man, when you listen to those numbers in that time, imagine being someone in 89 that has no idea what's coming down the pipeline. Yeah. You have no idea that Tom Brady's going to link up with Randy Moss. You have no idea who Tom Brady is. You're watching the zenith of quarterback play. Mm-hmm. You're watching the zenith of team football in 1989. I think the better question would be, can the 1989 49ers beat any team in the history of football? And I think that's a really good question.
Yeah. I I think Paul has a good point. The linebackers of the 80s against Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, Christian
Easily.
McCaffrey.
Again,
like there's so many little things that like the generational gap makes this such
we're
an
talking
interesting
about,
conversation.
again, right? The players were limited based on what they have. The players were limited to what they were open to. Right now, guys get into fucking hyper chambers and all this other shit, and they're athletically gifted in a way that we've never seen. There was no LeBron James when basketball was being played. There was no guy at the age of 16 that was better than everyone, like at that point, right? Like it's people are growing. But again, having said that, you cannot discount what has happened before because those guys did more with less. And I would argue that you look at a point where you're looking at the time where you're like, man, what if Joe Montana had Tyreek Hill? What if Joe Montana had Debo Samuel? What if Joe Montana had Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah.
Right? Like, those are the questions that you should start asking a little bit more. And to completely dismiss someone's track record from back then because quarterbacks now do things that nobody's ever seen is a little bit dismissive, and I feel like you're missing the point of the argument. But I love this argument. I do. I love this. I still, you know what, Nathan? We've been talking for a little bit. I don't have a good answer for this. I will tell you this. Life on the line, everything. Give me the 94 Niners.
I'm taking Iguodala.
I want Iguodala. No, but the 94 Niners. Well, Paul, I understand that. Like, Joe wouldn't, like, throw it down the field to Hill. But imagine hitting Hill in a slant in a perfectly placed ball where he just keeps running. Like, I'm not reading that comment. I want the 94 Niners over everybody, man. You've got too many of the greatest players who've ever played the game on one team, right? Jerry's the greatest. Deion's the greatest. I will take that team 10 out of 10 times against anyone with my life on the line, 100%. So, Paul, like, yeah, Joe wouldn't throw it down the field to Hill, but if Joe hits him on a dig or if he hits him on a slant and perfectly puts that thing in there, he's never had a receiver like that or whatever. No. Fine, I'll read it. You read it.
Jordan, just brutal. Sorry to hear this, Jordan. Just like my wife who left me. I'm sorry to hear that, Jordan. The 89 Niners are just a memory now, and we're never getting them back.
All right, man. Good God, dude. Him and JKBG are trying to fight for like the best comments. Gammon says, honest question. How did you grow care for your beards? Beards. What are your beads? What? I don't want to talk about the beads. What are your go-to products and routines? What carnival game? All right, so start with the first one. Andrew, I've seen pictures of you without the beard. How did that come about?
Just got laid. Brian Wilson, honestly, high school kid, Giants winning World Series. As an adult, pure laziness, just not doing it. I just don't want to shave every day. Really, really simple. I use beard oil, nice and clean. Gives me that shine. Carnival game. Oh man, I haven't been to a carnival in forever. I want to say the basketball game, but like I'm bad at basketball. I think I'm pretty good at the ring toss. That's just beer pong, but with rings. So I'll go ring toss.
Mine. How did you grow your beard? COVID. I could never grow a beard, and I had always been under the impression that I could never grow a beard. And COVID happened, and I couldn't see my barber once a week. And all of a sudden, I looked, and it was a patch here, a patch there. And I went to my barber, and I said, "Hey, man, do you think I could grow a beard?" And he said, "Hey, I'm with you. Let's make it happen." And here we are.
That beard
and I grew my
combo.
Beard. I grew my hair, and I grew my beard because of COVID. My go-to products, I forget what the product name is, and I'm glad I do because they don't pay us. So I don't want to like put.
That's why I just said beard oil.
I use beard oil, but I use a beard shampoo and conditioner all in one. Yeah, that I throw in when I shower. So I wash my face and then I wash my beard. And then if I'm going out and I'm feeling saucy, I'll throw the beard oil on it. The beard oil ain't for everybody, like everything. and that gives it that gloss.
Yeah.
And carnival game, jump shot. Give me the jumper. Like my jumper's wet. Like I'm fine with that. Like I'm good with the basketball.
There it is.
I'm good with the basketball thing, 100%. I think we got another. Yeah, we got another donation right here too, from Keith.
Did you guys see Jason McIntyre on the herd put some money down on Purdy to win MVP? That makes sense. I mean, what are the odds right now, Jason? You're probably more in touch with MVP odds. Let's see if we can find out what this is on the fly.
Well, all right. Can I go a more pessimistic route?
Okay.
Oh my God, why is he on the fucking train? He's literally the worst, man. and speaking for all Jasons, we do not claim him. He's terrible at almost everything, including evaluations, predictions, knowing who's on the roster. Dear God, I think it's more of a curse than it is anything that's confidence, man. Look, national media talk shows, I don't pay attention to at all. I don't watch them at all. Like, if you're watching them, you're not watching them to be informed. You're watching them to be entertained.
Yeah.
But good God, man, I don't think I could think of anyone who's worse at talking about football than Jason fucking McIntyre. And as the vice president, because I'm sure there's a Jason that's ahead of me on the board of Jasons, we do not claim him. He is not part of our brigade, and he is not part of the council.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa is probably ahead of me.
Jason Giambi.
Jason Bourne's way ahead of me. Like, Jason Bourne's way ahead of me. Honestly,
Jason Giambi.
I'm low on the rung. The only reason I was able to be vice president is because I grew a beard. And finally, they were like, we acknowledge Jason Aponte now as a board of the, on the board of Jasons. It's like the council of Ricks.
We know it was the thighs. It wasn't the beard. Jason.
Oh,
no, it's anywhere from 2,000 to plus 4,000 odds for Purdy to win MVP. I could see that being one of those, like.
You don't get this. You don't get it. You don't get
it. I don't. I'm
Andrew
sorry.
doesn't get it, and he's literally
laugh.
So anyone in the chat, please, please just put it in the chat if you understand what this reference is, because it's literally one of the best references, and I guarantee you, if Andrew watched this movie, he would laugh so much at this because it's so true. Please, Jordan, you know exactly what it's from. I know what it's from. So I'm going to say it in the way that it happens in this movie. You probably think because of the beard that I'm really hairy, but I'm not. Shaved. The other guys, let's go, Jesse. Of course Jesse knows.
I just want Jason to act now on this podcast. I really I just want to pick random.
All right. So there's a scene in that movie where the running joke in that movie is that Will Ferrell, who is this goofy dude the entire movie, he literally attracts every single good look, and John knows and Paul knows. Good. I love you guys.
I don't.
Will Ferrell is literally the goofiest dude in this movie, but he attracts the most beautiful women. His wife in the movie is Eva Mendes, and she's a super bad. So they go and they try to get back here and have sex with my wife. So they try to get the phone from them. And it's Christina, not Christina. Christina.
What?
And they get there, and she takes Will Ferrell in the back to give him the phone, and her husband has a beard similar to yours, Andrew. And he's like laid out on the couch, and he's sitting there, and he's like, beep, beep, Arnold Palmer alert. So, and he's sitting there with, what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. And he's like, you probably think because the beard that I'm really hairy. And he's like, but I'm not. And he's telling Mark Wahlberg, and he's like, but I'm not shaved. And he's like, Alan, see, but look, I love the fact that everyone right now is like, dude, you need to get on that movie immediately.
I want to go back.
Go.
What qualifies a super baddie? Like, is it a baddie who has a debilitating allergic reaction to like kryptonite?
Oh, okay.
Or like what makes a super baddie?
I like it. Honey, this one's got the Vaki in it. Eva Mendes is incredibly bad.
Okay.
And
some say super baddie.
if you don't need proof, her husband is Ken. And that man is not going anywhere.
Is Ryan Gosling now just rebranded as Ken?
Look, Jason, if I put that Rocket Raccoon shirt in my Cosmo Fashion app, you probably get a D-. So that's other guys. That's another.
I'm gonna get other guys reference off my own.
Look at all these. Shake your dicks. This contest is over. Shake your dicks. This pissing contest is over. There's two things that I love. Okay, Kylie Minogue and making a man feel like he's about to lose his life with his eyes. Dude, Andrew, I don't give you homework, right? Rich Madrid would ask you to watch the tape. We're asking you to watch the film.
Okay.
The film of Other Guys. Okay. I think it's on, if I'm not mistaken, Netflix.
Let's see if I can find it. The Other Guys.
You turn my beautiful Prius into a nightmare. Everybody who is in on this.
Oh, Dwayne's in it?
Yep. Everybody who's in on this orgy was very willing.
Oh, it's on Prime. It's on Peacock. Oh, we got a few options.
Oh, dude. Here. You have Peacock. Go on Peacock immediately when this is done. If you're going to be up at 4 a.m. to watch soccer, you need to immediately watch The Other Guys right now.
I'll put that on my list. I don't think I can watch it. I'm busy this weekend, Jason. I'm so busy. I'm not watching the 49ers.
No, everyone in the chat right now, I need you to bully Andrew Pasquini on Twitter.
Bully me. Okay.
Bully him on Twitter. Watch The Other Guys now. The Rock's in it. Samuel L. Jackson's in it. Like, you need to watch this movie. Like, and the reason that I probably love this movie the most is the Derek Jeter references.
Oh, I see it. I get it now. This is just a trap to get me.
He's
to watch
a biracial angel.
Oh, okay. I'll add it to the list. The Other Guys. Boom.
Other Guys. Not add it to the list. Move it to the top of the list and start going. And look, and I love that Mr. Josiah said this. It was literally the rebirth of Michael Keaton's career.
Okay.
Michael Keaton wasn't able to do Birdman and all the other movies that he's done. By the way, I watched The Flash. That movie fucking stinks. Like that he was like probably the best part. But Michael Keaton's rebirth starts with this movie. It does. It really does, man. He was able to do that show about the doctor who like oversaw the opioid addictions and all that stuff. Like Michael Keaton's whole career starts over with this. And that's the best part, honestly.
Get cooked, Ezra Miller.
Oh, that movie's so fucking bad. I watched it twice just to make sure. Just to make sure. Yeah,
I like that.
I was just like, maybe I'm tripping. Or maybe I'm angry. And then I watched it again and I was like, God, this movie stinks so bad. It's so fucking bad.
I liked his little cameo in Peacemaker. That was fun at the very end.
Peacemaker is the best thing DC's ever come out with, ever.
Mighty interesting that they couldn't get The Rock to perform well for them, but John Cena cooks. John Cena's
the better actor. John Cena's the best wrestling actor.
No.
Yep,
thank you. You remember who? The definite rankings are Batista, John Cena,
The Rock.
That is the order.
Batista didn't win me over with Guardians of the Galaxy. Batista won me over with Knock at the Cabin. That's when I realized that Batista was the best wrestling actor. And that was a movie where he has many moments where he has to do monologues and he has to actually act. I have no question in my mind that Batista is the best actor of all of the wrestlers. But John Cena is really close, man. The Peacemaker is really fucking good.
Peacemaker is very good, and I cannot wait for season 2. Actually, fun little thing. SmackDown is coming to Sacramento, California in 2 weeks.
Are you going?
Well, so I was thinking about, but like also Sprint Red Option podcast stuff. I'd rather do that because like the weekly shows don't really get a rattle out of it.
Do it from SmackDown.
But John Cena's going to be there.
Do it from SmackDown.
Just do the pod from SmackDown.
I will.
5:15. John Cena's cutting a promo.
Take your AirPods. Look. We do a segment where look. I'll start it. Everything else, maybe I'll have somebody pop in, but we will have you pop in and
From
you'll
SmackDown?
give us
I'll
10
do my
minutes.
best.
You'll give us 10 minutes.
We'll see because I just
Go, Andrew.
bought a
I'll
couch.
send you
I got
money.
a lot of things I'm buying right now. I don't have the money to do all
I'll
this
send
stuff
you
I'm
money.
buying.
I'll send you money.
It's good. Wait, we'll see. We'll talk about. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how the Niners make me feel, because that's who did the Niners play October 1st? That's is that the Cardinals? The Cardinal
who
week?
cares? Who cares, man? You could bullshit that
Yeah.
whole podcast and just sit there and just be like,
Cardinals
yeah, the Cardinals stink, man. Who cares?
It's John Cena's attitude adjusting, Roman Reigns, and
I do want to talk to you about something else, though.
Yes, you
while
can
we're
come
on
in.
After Dark, I don't know how much more time we have.
I'm gonna. Jamie's walking through, so I'm gonna turn off my mic real quick and turn off. You talk, I'll listen.
Okay, I want to talk about something else, real quick, and I know that Andrew Pasquini is a big fan of this person that I'm about to bring up, but I know that this person has been a little bit controversial in the news with her antics and the way that she's kind of been speaking. But Andrew Pasquini, I've got to ask you, and I'd love to get your feedback when you finally get on here. Doja Cat is smoking every single record she's dropping now, man.
I think we are getting to peak Doja Cat. Like, I wish the days of like people not taking art so seriously, because all this devil gimmick stuff is gimmick. It's to get people talking about it.
Her wearing that spider web to the VMAs, I was like, them things is stinging, and she's out here.
I'm very excited for this next album of hers. As I said, I think a lot of the things that getting her the attention now, the way, the looks and all that, like it's all PR, it's all advertising an album. We used to do this all the time before social media, where things got like, it's so funny because like the older generation, it's like, oh, this devil stuff, and like, isn't there a song that like you play it backwards on the record player and it says loves the devil 666? Like, this isn't new. None of this is new. I'm very excited for Doja Cat's new album. It's going to be fire. She's coming to San Francisco on Halloween. Speaking of another thing, like a list of things Andrew wants to pay for and go to, but like that's expensive. She's in San Francisco on Halloween. I'm very excited for Doja. I'm very excited for this.
She's been smoking almost everything, man. And look, everybody's tagging you right now, and they're bullying you right now on Twitter.
They can bully me all they want.
What you do is
they can't hurt me more than I've hurt myself.
Well, no, you have to look. We're gonna end this. We're gonna end After Dark right now.
Yes,
but what you need to do is open up your Peacock app. Oh
God,
yeah. And
those are the other messages for later in the night.
Shut the hell up and put on the other guys immediately. Like
that's if not tonight. Like, as I said, I'm out of town all weekend.
No, everybody in the chat, I want you to put, if you're here and you're watching and you care, I want in all caps tonight to jump into the chat tonight. Not tomorrow. Don't let him slide. The answer is tonight.
My guy Paul will back me up. I got to wake up at 4:30 tomorrow to watch Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Right now it's 6:30.
It's 6:30. I got to
6:33.
Gas. Got to eat dinner
tonight.
I'm driving to Santa Rosa.
Keep going.
We'll see what the plans are tomorrow. Palo Alto Niner. Shout out Palo Alto Niner tomorrow. Listen, I appreciate all of you guys. Each and every one of you. I'm now nervous that if I don't show up on Monday, Niners win. But I have the Niners could win 950-0, but everybody's going to be disappointed if I show up not watching the other guys. A lot of pressure on me.
We're way more. This is how you know shit is vibing right now with the 49ers. We're not on here worried about whether the Niners are going to win. We're worried about whether you watch the other guys. That's how you know things are going too well.
Jose, Andrew used to be cool.
Well. Andrew used to be cool.
I love you guys.
It's only 100 minutes.
It's only 100 minutes.
It's only 100 minutes.
Oh man.
It's 6:30. You know what I'm gonna do? It's 9:30.
What a 2-hour drive to make tonight.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right, man. It's all right. Look, it's 6:30. If you leave right now, That means you'll be wherever you're going to be at 9 o'clock. Come on.
We'll see. If not this weekend, I'm more free next weekend with the Niners not playing.
Keep going.
Can we just throw that out there?
No,
okay.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, I threw it out there. That's all I could do. Jason Aponte, I love you. I love everybody in the chats. It's been a fun episode.
It's a great episode. This is how you know we're vibing, and you know that the Niners are good because we're just vibing. Trying to bully Andrew Pasquini into watching the other guys.
I love it. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Be safe while you're driving, also, buddy.
Oh, I absolutely will. Gonna get pizza. Gonna go to Amici's in Vacaville. So
love it.
Pizza. Big pizza guy.
Big pizza. Love it.
Pizza.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.